to unmute themselves. So if you do need to send a message, please send that to me personally through the chat, and we'll be happy to help you out. But we want to keep moving, and we have some wonderful guests we want to introduce tonight. So without further ado, I want to toss it over to my colleague Linda and let her introduce herself and some other folks that will be joining us. Thanks for being here tonight. We're excited to have you.
I'm Linda Gronberg-Quinn. I am, by day, I am the Director of Teacher Education at CCBC, but I am also the one of the proud co-advisors of the Dundalk chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, the Beta Alpha Tau chapter. And on behalf of the advisors, I'd like to welcome you to the Spring 2021 induction of the 3 chapters of Phi Theta Kappa. Other advisors that are joining us are Chrissy Huffman, who is co-advisor at the Beta Alpha Tau chapter at Dundalk. Dan has introduced himself, and his co-advisor is Eric Cotton, both at Catonsville. And finally, Sue Fenton and Sakina Williams are the co-advisors at the Chi Theta, I knew I was going to say that wrong, Chi Theta chapter at the Essex campus. We also have some of our officers joining us. Amanda Hudson from the Dundalk campus, the current president, is joining us. The president of Essex, Nancy Anyilokwu, is joining us, and Sydney Parks, the president of the Catonsville chapter, is joining us. I'd like to thank all of the administrators who are here this evening. I know Dr. Martinez is here and Dr. Curtinitis. We can't say enough how much we appreciate your continued support of Phi Theta Kappa. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Curtinitis. Dr. Sandra Curtinitis is, it beat me to it. Dr. Sandra Curtinitis, the president of the Community College of Baltimore County since 2005. And again, a very huge supporter of Phi Theta Kappa.
Well, I'm rather startled to see my very huge picture there, but thank you, Linda. So listen, everybody, I am the proud president of the Community College of Baltimore County, and it's always a delight to share this evening with all of you. And you know, what a clever way to actually make sure that we get all of our Phi Thetans inducted this year. I understand from your advisors that we have 349 students who've been accepted into Phi Theta Kappa this year across our 3 campuses. And Dan a minute ago said we had about 125 of you on this call, the Zoom call tonight. So that's pretty special. But before I actually share a few thoughts with you, I want to just say a special thank you to the advisors on both the academic, from both the academic side of our house and the student services side of our house. This is a big commitment that they make, and it's another example of where our faculty and our professionals from the student services area, the college life area, really come together and do something very special for a very special group of students, and that is all of you. And I also want to compliment your officers because, and I'll give you an example, a little bit of a place where we had several of your officers just in writ large in an event, and they did themselves proud and their advisors proud and us proud. So let me say a few things about all of you. You may not realize this, but CCBC has, last year we had about 60,000 students at CCBC. And yet, the number I gave you just a minute ago, about 349.50 students selected to become members of Phi Theta. Phi Theta is for our brightest and our best, and you are among them. I mean, to have to meet a GPA requirement of 3.5, there are lots of people who wish they could, and only a few people who actually do. So we're very happy to welcome you to Phi Theta at CCBC this evening, and truly quite proud of the fact that all 3 of our chapters are 5-star chapters. And that again attests to the quality and the excellence of the work that our folks do with our Phi Theta students. I should mention also that on Wednesday night, some of us will be part of what usually is a great big event up in Cockeysville, Maryland, at a huge resort where we get to celebrate all of the Maryland scholars, Phi Theta scholars. And regrettably, we can't do that. It'll be virtual, but I will get to introduce 5 of your colleagues who will be inducted in the All Maryland Academic First Team, and 1 in the All Maryland Academic Second Team. So we've got a lot of good people who work to make this happen, and we hope that you're going to take advantage of all of the special things that come to you as a Phi Theta Kappa member. What I also hope you will come to know is that we at the college work very hard to support faculty and staff who we know will work to nurture and support all of our students. We always strive to be a college that cares, and it's been even harder in these nearly 18 months of darkness that we've experienced because of the pandemic. But really, dark or light, day or night, CCBC is about nothing if not about student success. And I often say to our folks, the only reason any of us has a job is because we have students to serve, and that is all of you. So we're serious about this. But these inductions are one of the things that I most enjoy about CCBC, especially in this time frame. For about 3 weeks, honestly, almost every night, we are celebrating students, athletes, leaders, scholars, people who receive special awards. So this is the time of the year that we look forward to all the way up to commencement, because we get to celebrate and to show our pride in the academic success and the other kinds of success that our students engage in. Your success is our success, and as you leave us eventually, you become one of our gifts to the community. So I mentioned a minute ago, I would share with you an incident that occurred this week that will give you a really good idea of how we look to our Phi Theta Kappa scholars as leaders in at our college. You may or may not be aware of the fact that last Monday, the United States Secretary of the Department of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona, actually came to CCBC. And he came to the Catonsville campus and he spent time with students. He first visited the Child Care Center, and then he spent time with our automotive students and some of our student leaders as well. And the president of the Catonsville campus was among those. So Dr. Cardona actually sat and spoke with students. And I will tell you, he was so impressed when he listened to our student leaders talk about the role that they play for the college and the role the college has played on their behalf. And Sydney Parks actually did such a good job that the secretary turned around and said to me, I hope you got that on tape because you can use that as a PSA. So I share this story with you because we often invite our Phi Theta students into our leadership whenever we need student leaders to be part of our leadership team, when we have the delegates come, when we have legislators, when a special visitor like the Secretary of Education. And I'll tell you, that was no accident that the Secretary of Education came to CCBC, because, you know, we were very smart to choose you, but let me tell you, you were very smart to choose us as well. Community College in Baltimore County will open many doors for you. And I truly want to say again how appreciative I am of the work that our advisors and mentors and so forth do. And I chuckle every time Dr. Linda Grunberg Quinn comes back from one of the conferences that Phi Theta holds, and she will always say, you know how I love to brag, and then she will tell us the wonderful things that all of the awards that our 3 chapters have won from the national conference. And I always chuckle and say, Linda, it ain't bragging if it's true. And we know it's true. So we're welcoming you into very active chapters, into groups of students who will care about the same things that you each do. And I think out of this, you know, we talk about scholarship and leadership and fellowship and service, but I think it's really leadership. Scholarship is there because you have to have a GPA, but it's really leadership that I, as the president, look to Phi Theta to help us with and to groom our students. And when I mentioned Dr. Cardona's pleasure at listening to our student leaders, your Phi Theta colleagues, he was so struck because one is going to NYU, one to Brown, one to Smith. You know, there's a lot about what we do at CCBC to get you ready for the next level. And so as you step into your role in Phi Theta, and we hope you'll be interested in Phi Theta leadership positions, but it's such a pleasure for us to be always at these occasions in the midst of such talented and creative and accomplished students. And your selection into Phi Theta really places you in a perfect position to step into those leadership roles. There's a phrase I like to use. I share it with our Phi Theta students at every induction, and it's simply this: the world is run by those who show up. And you, my friends, have shown up. So leadership is hard. Divas need not apply. There you are, right in the middle of it. And so I commend you for making a commitment to those values of scholarship, fellowship, leadership, and service. And if you are here tonight, we know that you will walk the proverbial walk and talk the proverbial talk. So I extend my congratulations to all of you. I wish you well, both here in your time at CCBC, and I believe that Phi Theta Kappa will equip you to do well here and to get you ready for the next step beyond. So congratulations, and Linda, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce to everyone the new Middle States Regional Coordinator. Professor Jennifer Gasparino became the coordinator at our regional convention in March, and she hit the ground running, has not stopped, and the plans for this year are phenomenal, phenomenal. Professor Gasparino is also the chapter advisor at the Alpha Eta Chi chapter at Passaic County Community College in New Jersey. Welcome, Professor Gasparino.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dr. Kurtnitis, and all of the advisors and chapter officers and inductees. This is a truly a special time, and I am very, very honored to be here amongst, let me make sure I get it right, Alpha Rho Psi, Beta Alpha Tau, and Chi Theta, right? At Community College of Baltimore County. So fantastic to be here. As Linda had said, I'm Jennifer Gasparino. I am your Middle States Regional Coordinator. And much like all of you being inducted and taking the oath as a Kappan, the role of Middle States Regional Coordinator is a new one for me. So, but being a Kappan is not. So I was inducted many years ago as a member. And and PTK has been an organization that is instrumental in my success as a student and as a professional. As a student, PTK provided me with opportunities to network and develop my leadership skills, but most importantly, my involvement helped me to build my confidence to continue my education. After graduating State County Community College, because I was a member inducted into the chapter that I now advise at the college that I graduated from. And so I've come full circle, as Phi Theta Kappa can definitely help you to do, right? And after graduating from State County Community College, I transferred to get my bachelor's degree at Fairleigh Dickinson University with a full PTK transfer scholarship. I got my undergraduate degree in psychology, and from there moved on to NYU to pursue my master's of social work. And shortly after graduating with my MSW, that's when I returned to PCCC and started teaching in the program that I graduated from. PTK was the impetus for my journey. It was only a few years later that I would accept a full-time position, faculty position at PCCC, and later that year was advising a chapter. I was once a member. Now, here we are 6 years later, and I'm serving as your regional coordinator. This is only because all those years ago, I borrowed $50, because yes, back then membership was only $50. That just gives you an idea of how long ago, to join this organization that a professor told me I should. I was scared, nervous, but it was the best money I ever spent. And I tell that to students now, that even if you can't afford it, find somebody who can help you, find some, apply for a golden opportunity scholarship, find something, because it will be the best money that you spend in all of your education. It's a launch pad. PTK is a launch pad for you to continue working on your scholarship, but it is also a place to develop the leader within you. While how you participate in PTK is up to you, and there's no requirement for participation, right? It's what you choose to participate in that can change the way you view your education and the world around you. But most importantly, the way you view yourself. The mission of Phi Theta Kappa is to recognize academic achievement of college students and to provide opportunities for them to grow as leaders and scholars. Today, your chapter is recognizing you and providing you with these opportunities of a lifetime. Whether it's participating in service, working on Hallmark projects, and I know these chapters at CCBC work on Hallmark projects, college projects, honors in action, or just offering you a competitive edge, right? And I use that term because hopefully you know about the PTK Edge programs, and if you don't, ask your advisors, because they'll tell you all about it. It's really worth your investment, right? Whether it's providing a network platform or just an opportunity to build lifelong friendships. If I can offer you any advice today, take advantage of everything PTK offers. Don't put obstacles in your way. Look beyond what's in front of you. And know that we are here to support your journey, that your chapter is here, that the region is here, and that Phi Theta Kappa as an institution is here to support you. You belong to 5-star chapters, and your chapter's 5-star plan helps the group, but more importantly, helps you as individuals. If you take what the group does and apply it individually, you learn how to set goals, understand how to plan projects, work on effective communication, working as a team, and learning about the importance of being accountable to others. These are all key areas to emphasize your scholarship applications, your job resumes, or building your professional development. On behalf of the Middle States region, I offer you my congratulations on taking the first step towards your success here in Phi Theta Kappa. And again, we welcome you into Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars it affords. And as you will hear later on in your ceremony, you will be saluted for your accomplishments. And to reiterate your installation, I charge you to explore always for truth, to dedicate yourselves to the cultivation of a well-reasoned life, a prelude to your honor and service. Congratulations to all of the chapters at CCBC, and welcome to the Middle States region. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We are also joined by another representative of the Middle States region, This is someone who comes from a little closer area. Alina Rock is the Maryland, Washington, D.C. president, and she's from the Omicron Pi chapter at the Allegheny College of Maryland. Welcome, Alina.
Thank you, Linda. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. Okay, let me pull up my speech. Congratulations, inductees. I know that this is such a special day for all of you, even if you don't quite realize it yet. Phi Theta Kappa has so much to offer each one of you, from leadership development to, of course, scholarships. My time with Phi Theta Kappa has been one of growth and acceptance. My husband, Jonas, was invited to be a member after his first semester of college, while I was halfway done being a senior in high school. I remember him asking me if I thought he should join, and I told him to, thinking it'd just be something to put on a resume. I graduated, we got married, and I started attending Allegheny College of Maryland too. Very early on in that fall semester, I went to Melody, our wonderful advisor, and asked about an email she sent Jonas about inductions, and she told me more about PTK. I became a provisional member and I was hooked. I tried to be part of every single event our chapter put on. It was a little exhausting. So many people in the group were like me, attending college for a specific goal, whether it was to just get their college degree or figure out what they wanted to do, or to get into a career they wanted to. It made me want to be on the campus every day and do our part for our college community. I loved going to the conventions and meeting people from all over. I still love those aspects of PTK, but as I've grown with the society, I see what I've been taught about being a leader and how I've carried that with me into the present and the future. I credit a large portion of my leadership skills to working on the college project and completing the EDGE programs. Because of Phi Theta Kappa, I have the courage and the know-how to move across the country twice, have confidence in my interviewing abilities, and understanding the transfer process. So I was able to see what colleges were right for me, which ultimately led me back home and into this position. Because of Phi Theta Kappa, I realized I can take every opportunity available and just keep growing. I attribute my success to stepping up, getting involved, and being whatever type of leader others need me to be. And I think you can too.
Thank you. Thank you, Alina. And our final person that we have here offering some remarks is someone that I feel I have known for most of my life, and that's almost impossible. But James Krause is an alumni of CCBC. He was a member of the Beta Alpha Tau chapter. He was an officer for Beta Alpha Tau, and then was the Maryland state president in the Middle States region. James and I have done a lot of traveling together with Phi Theta Kappa, and I'm so very proud of all that he has accomplished. He is currently completing his Master's of Art in Teaching at Frostburg State. James, welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for the introduction. So tonight I'm going to speak what I've learned with my involvement in Phi Theta Kappa as a regional officer and how it correlates to the chapter level. First thing that I learned is leadership. As a regional officer, I had developed and promote a regional project which helps chapters to focus as well as promote Phi Theta Kappa values and represent CCBC to different colleges around the state and as well in the region. If you are involved in a chapter, you and your fellow officers will have developed a college project that positively impacts the college and the surrounding communities, such as being involved in Relay for Life, park cleanups, or putting on a webinar on preparedness in a pandemic world. And as chapter officers, you will also represent the college as well, as Dr. Sandra Kurtnitis mentioned. Second trait that I learned was teamwork. During my time as Maryland State President, I had to work with other regional officers to develop a regional project. I truly believe that if we, the regional officers, did not develop the chemistry that we did, the region would not have done as well as it did. We were successful enough that the regional officer team that I was part of was recognized as Distinguished Regional Officer team on the international level. As an officer team, you will have to work together to develop a college project, as well as working with college administration to further develop the project and implement it. And the most important trait of my involvement that I learned with Phi Theta Kappa is perseverance. I had to maintain my grades at CCBC while doing my regional officer duties. The same goes for being involved in chapter. Even though you're involved in the chapter, you are expected to maintain your GPA. But let's be honest here for a moment. For some of you, your involvement in Phi Theta Kappa ends here tonight. Whether you're graduating, transferring, or other reason, it is understandable. And you may have joined for scholarships and wanted to be recognized for the hard work you have done. It is an honor, and you should all be congratulated. If you still want to be involved in Phi Theta Kappa after your time here at CCBC, join CCBC PTK Alumni Association. The association is still in its chartering phase, and we would be welcome to help. And I personally would be grateful. But if you are sticking around and want to have a positive impact on the college and the surrounding community, I would strongly encourage you to get involved in respective chapters. I am sure the chapter's advisors would love to have you and work with you, as well as other chapter officers and college administration. If you're feeling ambitious like Alina Rock and myself, and want to have a positive impact on the region and represent CCBC, run for regional officer. I'm sure Jennifer Gasparino and other elected regional officers would love to work with you. And if you're really feeling ambitious, run for international office. At the last international event, we had our own Marylander, Brianna Barone from Arundel Community College, elected as Division I Vice President. Possibilities are endless. The question is, which path will you choose? Finally, I will leave you with this. From my own personal experience, the journey towards your goal may be difficult, but for some of you, you may falter or even hit rock bottom, and that is okay. But I have full faith in all of you that you will succeed due to the supports from friends, family, and other supports, and sheer determination and will. You will succeed. And how do I know you're going to succeed? You have all been inducted to Phi Theta Kappa in Honor Society. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you guys tonight.
Honored guests and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for membership in our Honor Society. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into Phi Theta Kappa International Society of the two-year college.
You are about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship, which embraces 2 years, two-year colleges not only of your own state, but also the nation and the world. The fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa, and your local chapters is Alpha Rho Psi for Catonsville, Beta Alpha Tau for Dundalk, and Chi Theta for Essex. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarships to which you must give of yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you.
At this point in the program, we typically find a quote that matches Phi Theta Kappa's goals. This quote is from President Barack Obama, as he serves as a graduation speaker for all this year. His quote seems quite appropriate for tonight. Keep exploring, keep dreaming, keep asking why. Don't settle for what you already know. Never stop believing in the power of your ideas, your imagination, your hard work to change the world.
Displayed on the screen is a torch. It is symbolic of knowledge, which is the servant of wisdom, which dwells with prudence and leads in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment.
Displayed on the screen is a white rose. The white rose typically purified the beauty of life, which its white buds significantly intellectually associations.
This is the emblem of Phi Theta Kappa. It consists of a golden slab, keyed at the top and bottom. The gold field, like the escutcheon of our coat of arms, refers to the golden opportunities that abound on every hand for society folk, to evidence their culture and perform good works. Since gold is the most noble of metals, it shall have a further significance in our society, for it shall represent that nobility is attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership.
Across the slab, you will observe a black band. It represents the three ideals which band us together and the cultural self-control, which is the necessary foundation for true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Shining through the black enamel background are the three Greek letters, which are the initials of those three mystic Greek words meaning wisdom, aspiration, and purity.
Behind the band is a wreath. On this one side composed of oak leaves and on the other laurel. The oak leaf stands for the stability and strength of character as symbolized by the sturdy oak. The graceful curling leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes for a member in our society.
Above the band is the representation of the head of Athena, the goddess of learning. In the base appear the Greek letters meaning light, the light of knowledge and learning, the common ideal for members of Phi Theta Kappa's honor society. This badge stands as a symbol for the high idealism of our organization and membership in our select group.
You've studied the constitution of this organization, the purpose of which is to foster a spirit of devotion to study and to scholarly ideals among its members, and whose principles are embodied in the Greek letters, which stand for wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Now that the standards and ideals of this organization have been fully revealed to you, you come to complete the pledge which admits you into the complete fellowship. Would all inductees please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly promise on this 10th day of May to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to make this object and aim my foremost in my mind. And I do solemnly pledge allegiance to my fellowship, fellow members, and promise to aid them in all worldly endeavors.
Chrissy and I will now honor all of our new inductees. Mohammed Al-Haramosh, Cyber Securities Major.
There we go. Technology was not my friend. Jacqueline Alvarez Hernandez. Where does she see herself in 5 years? She wants to be a Towson School Psychologist concentration program, studying to obtain her Master's of Arts and Certified of Advanced Study in School Psychology.
Samira Amayo, a biology major who endeavors to be a doctor.
Z Amjad, who is a psychology major, would like to be in medical school in 5 years to become a psychiatrist.
Armina Ayaz, in 5 years, she sees herself starting a design business.
Rachel Bambouye, she wants to acknowledge God Almighty today, and she wants to be working towards her degree and be successful in 5 years.
Kelly Belcher, a nursing major who wants to specialize in children in either obstetrics or in the NICU.
We have Eric. Eric is a business administration major who sees himself in 5 years working in the private sector, and he just wants to thank everyone who supported him in returning back to school.
Jamie Bosley, a criminal justice major who would like to have a career in CSI.
Cheryl Brandt, who is a computer-aided drafting, design, and visualization major. That's long for a diploma. I love that. And wants to acknowledge Tom. Rest in peace, Tom. Thanks for starting her on this journey.
Stacy Bragg. She is ultimately going to get a master's degree in social work, and she would really like to thank her family.
Clara Barrett. She sees herself in 5 years working at Northrop Grumman and continuing her education. And she has some shout outs here to some of our CCBC faculty.
Kanisha Bird is a nursing major who aspires to a career in midwifery. She would really like to thank her mom for pushing her to achieve every goal that she set for herself.
Alana Teresa Callahanchen, is a psychology major, and in 5 years, she sees herself traveling to be an advocate about mental health. And today she thanks God and her family, friends, and teachers, and most importantly, herself.
Samantha Campion, a nursing major who wants to get a BSN and eventually a master's degree. She would like to acknowledge the Student Government Association team for making this semester at CCBC remarkable.
Victoria Clark, who is a general studies major, is going to be transferring to a four-year university and studying political science. And she always wants to thank her family, but especially her mom, who always reassures her that she's going to be president of the United States someday.
Jasma Lee Coates. Jasma is a human services counseling major. She would like to thank her higher power and her ancestors.
Tanisha Day is a criminal justice major, and in 5 years, she wants to obtain her master's degree in criminal justice and be on her way to be an arbitrator for the United States Postal Service.
Abby Decker is a psychology major who will eventually work on a doctoral degree.
Lily Dinsmore, we congratulate you on this wonderful accomplishment.
Judy Edwards, a visual communication major who would like to earn a degree and become an entrepreneur. She thanks her families and friends for their support.
Helyana F. Fanka is an undecided major who sees herself in medical school after completing the nursing program at Towson. She wants to become a dermatologist.
Keyshawn Ellis, air traffic control major who will attend Elizabeth City State University. He would like to thank his parents for raising him to follow his dreams.
Esmeralda Escamilla is a general studies major, and in 5 years she will be in graduate year pursuing her Doctor of Physical Therapy degree. She wants to thank her family and her friend Jacqueline and the staff of CCBC.
And Brianna Iwan, an English major who aspires to be published as an author and poet. She wants to thank her roommates, Matt, Kat, and Angela.
Imani Ferguson, who's a general studies major, in 5 years sees herself with a communications degree in helping others through social interaction, whether it be in the Peace Corps or in a company. And of course, she wants to thank her parents and her sister and godparents and friends, and she has a great support system.
Michaela Frondozo. Michaela is a political science major who aims to be a successful lawyer. She would like to thank her family and her friends.
Joanne Furman is a respiratory therapy major, and she would like to combine her two loves in 5 years, the medical field and teaching. Maybe we'll see you back at CCBC. She wants to thank her family and the professors in the respiratory therapy program who made her dreams come true.
Tammy Galuski, a business administration major who wants to get a bachelor's degree in finance. She wants to thank thank her children for the support, Gabrielle and Isabella, as well as her parents and family.
Deborah is a business management major, and in 5 years, she sees herself with a stable job and owning her own house. She wants to become a financial advisor in a company, preferably a Toyota car dealership. So congratulations, Deborah.
Our very own Jasmine Griffin. She would like to thank her family for always supporting her in the decisions that she made towards her higher education. She would also like to thank Alpha Rho Psi, that's our chapter, for welcoming her with open arms. She's an interior design major. Congratulations, Jasmine.
Jim Hagan. Jim is a digital media production major, and he wants to be a relatively successful filmmaker in 5 years. And he has a lot of people, especially from Patapsco High School, as he says, for really getting his butt back in gear in terms of work ethic and creatively challenging his emotions.
Destiny Hall, a human service counseling major who wants to get into marriage and family counseling. She'd like to thank God and her family.
Sabrina Hall McCoy is a cyber security major. In 5 years, she hopes to be graduating with her bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and working in the field. She would like to thank her husband and kids for all of their support.
Alona Harris, another one of our very own Alpha Rho Psi members. She's in a business administration major who wants to work in real estate and will have her own business in every state of the United States and internationally. She'd like to thank herself and Layla as well.
Hania Hassan is a political science major, and in 5 years, she aspires to study law and sees herself as an international affairs lawyer. She wants to thank her family, her parents, and her friends for always supporting her and making her happy.
Amanda Hayden, a construction management major who would like to work in project management. She wants to thank her parents for supporting her decisions to pursue this degree and for her career path changes. She'd like to thank her former boss, Dan, as well, for making the business case for the company to support her in the program.
Lakeisha Holmes. Lakeisha is an elementary education major, and she sees herself as a successful young woman educating the youth in 5 years. She wants to thank her family and her fiance for their support, but most importantly, she wants to thank herself for becoming who she knew she could be.
Phoebe Ismail, a biology major who plans to get her degree in biology. She really wants to take care of babies, and she wants to thank her parents and her grandparents as well as her siblings for providing all that support and guidance that got her here today.
Dana Johnson. Dana is a human services counseling major, specifically in behavioral health. And in 5 years, she hopes to plans to attend a 4-year institution to pursue both a bachelor's and a master's in psychology. And she really wants to become certified in advanced trauma. She wants to thank her family, friends, and mentors who have supported her.
Denise Johnson, an arts and design major who wants to continue working for that 4-year degree and work for us here at CCBC, or to continue to work for us. She'd like to thank her parents for teaching her strength and courage, and she'd also like to thank her husband for his support.
Helen Johnson. Helen, in 5 years, she said, I came to learning late, but she's already had a successful career at the Port of Baltimore. And she wants to be using her newfound knowledge to make differences with his organization. And she really wants to acknowledge Professor Kip Snow.
Stacy Jones. Stacy is a sociology major that would like to work in education with some work in public policy and counseling. Stacy would like to acknowledge her sister for being supportive in her education.
Stephanie Carr is an accounting major, and in 5 years, she sees herself completing her master's degree and working with a company. She really wants to start her own business while getting her CPA degree. She has a deep appreciation for her parents, for their valuable advice, unparalleled support, and guidance throughout her life.
Carly Kidwell, a science major who will ultimately go to Towson, get a biology degree, and become an optometrist. She would like to thank her parents, her aunt, and her grandmother for providing support and love through this academic journey.
Jennifer Lynn Lake is a human services counseling major, and in 5 years, she sees herself working with children in a school or a hospital setting, providing them with therapy and counseling to help them through everyday life or difficult issues that they may be experiencing. She thanks her family and friends for showing her unconditional love.
Carmen Lee would like to join the Air Force and ultimately get a doctorate in biochemistry. She wants to own her own lab company. She'd like to thank her family for the support that they've given her through all of this.
Lisa Michelle Levy is a legal studies major, and in 5 years, she wants to be working in a law firm as a paralegal. And if it's possible, she'd also like to go to law school while she is working. She wants to thank her grandfather for showing her that she should never give up on education and providing the means for her education.
Derica Lomax is an early childhood development major who sees herself becoming happy, and her husband and her kids for cheering her on.
Sheila Morris is a psychology major, and in 5 years, she wants to complete her bachelor's degree at a 4-year college, and she also may decide to pursue a master's degree. She wants to work in a helping profession. Today, she wants to thank her family and friends who supported her throughout all of her education.
Raven Martin, a cybersecurity major who wants to get a top secret clearance. She would like to thank her wonderful fiance for being there every step of the way.
Andrew Martini is a fine arts major with a music voice concentration. And after graduating from CCBC, he's going to be continuing his education at Towson University, pursuing a bachelor's in music voice. Today, he wants to thank his family, his dad, his mom, his grandmother, brother, and sister-in-law for their support. And of course, all the instructors at CCBC.
Matthew McCoy sees himself running a successful tax and accounting business, working with other small businesses, doing consulting for startups. He would like to thank the entire staff, from the receptionist to the faculty and chairs of the CCBC family.
Sully McPhail is a legal studies major, and in 5 years, she sees herself as being a successful attorney with her own law firm. And today she is acknowledging one of our professors here at CCBC for being a fantastic legal studies professor and really helping her grow as a student.
Gracie Milkey. Gracie is a history major, and she would like to transfer to a 4-year university and get a double major with history and political science. She's passionate about learning, and she would like to thank her parents for pushing her to do her best.
Anthony Miller is a mathematics major, and in 5 years, he hopes to be in graduate school working towards his PhD in theoretical physics. And he would like a career working in academia, splitting his time between teaching and working on research projects.
Michaela Morrison is a computer science major who's off to UMBC. She wants to become an associate. She would like to be an associate professor and teach computer science classes and also work on game development as a hobby. She'd like to thank her mom and her dad, as well as her little sister.
And Danira Muhammad is an engineering technology CAD AOC major. And in 5 years, she's going to go straight into the workforce after graduating from CCBC. She is going to use her prior experience to start a fabrication shop where she can work with 3D printers and other interesting technology. She, of course, wants to thank her parents, especially her mother, who homeschooled her throughout the grades of K through 12.
Adeline Intatten. She's a nursing major who sees herself working in the public health field, implementing policy, systems, and environmental changes to improve population health outcomes. She'd like to thank her parents and her support system, as well as CCBC, for the opportunity to pursue this program.
Next, we have Trinity. Trinity is a biology major, and in 5 years from now, she hopes to complete her bachelor's degree in neuroscience and be fluent in French. She hopes to also be well into her medical school years and navigating her way into the field of global health. Today, she thanks her parents and her family for their guidance, their support, and their love, and their corrections throughout her journey.
Olasupo Ogunbodidi, an information technology major who sees himself as a successful information security practitioner. He would like to thank God and his family for their support.
I am so sorry for how I'm about to pronounce this because I know it's not going to be right, and I need to apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to do the best I can. Tanatulawa is an information technology major, and in 5 years, she wants to complete her bachelor's degree in information technology and will be working on a master's degree. She hopes to have started her own business in an area where she is passionate, and she sees herself as part of a company where she can develop a long-term career. Today, she thanks God and her family and everyone else who inspired and helped her get to this point.
Oluwatumi Ninu Olan Ray Waju, an engineering major who plans to go to the University of Maryland in College Park to further his education in aerospace and aeronautical engineering. He would like to thank God and his mom for all of the support through life until this very moment.
Simi is a biology major. And after she graduates, she'll be transferring to a 4-year college where she'll be completing her bachelor's degree in biology. She really wants to get into a top medical school after earning her bachelor's, where she can pursue her future career of being a neurosurgeon. Congratulations, Simi.
Cassia Oliveria, an early childhood education major who wants to go to grad school, get a master's degree, and sees herself teaching and gathering experience to open her own school. She would like to thank God for all of his mercy and also her family and friends who supported her.
Trisha, who is part of the Student Government Association that I get to help advise, is a general studies major, and in 5 years she hopes to be closer to obtaining her PhD in psychology and going around the world as a mental health coach. She wants to thank all of the staff at CCBC Essex for continuing to see her talent and pushing her through her educational journey, and of course her children who aspire her every day.
Rebecca Ofer is a criminal justice major who ultimately wants to get a Juris Doctorate. She aspires to be a juvenile court judge with the goal of helping to break the cycles of incarceration and poverty. She'd like to thank Reverend Dr. Douglas Sands for showing her what activism is.
Another one of our SGA members, Kafana. Kafana is a business administration major, and in 5 years, he sees himself as a financial analyst, and today he wants to thank his parents.
Joanne Parker. Joanne is a graphic design major who enjoys all things graphic. She thinks that she wants to become a freelance designer for her church. She would like to thank all of her professors because they have poured everything into her to enhance her skills, and she's eternally grateful for the wealth of knowledge each of them has brought.
Dev Patel, one of our other student leaders. In 5 years, Dev has a mission statement that he wants to become a financial advisor and educate people on financial literacy. He hopes his actions in educating the people of Maryland can put Maryland back in the right spotlight. So today he wants to thank a bunch of people in our student life staff, and he hopes to get married in the next 5 years.
Shakia Paler. Shakia is a music education major who wants to work in fine arts leadership and has future aspirations to train and teach urban music educators. She would like to thank and acknowledge her mother, Pastor Dr. Deborah Hunter.
John Pease, his major is humanities, and in 5 years, he truly hopes to be helping people as an art therapist. He wants to thank his father, Andrew Pease, and his mother, Elizabeth.
Robert Pope, a general studies major who would like to thank Michael Mowbray and Teresa Pope. Congratulations, Robert.
Lydia Pratt is a nursing major, and in 5 years from now, she sees herself working as a nurse and attending school for her BSN, and so on. She wants to keep on going. Today, she wants to thank and acknowledge Mr. Lloyd and Pratt.
Monet Pryor is a psychology major whose goal is to get a PhD and to work for Kennedy Krieger. She wants to thank God and her family for all the classmates who turned into lifelong friends.
Nicole Reynolds is a biology major, and after graduating from CCBC, plans on transferring to an animal biology program at a four-year university, and then hopefully will go on to vet school from there to become a veterinarian. She wants to thank her partner, Alex, who's always supported her dreams and encouraged her to go back to school.
Kristen Rudolph is an anthropology and sociology major. She plans on getting a PhD in sociocultural linguistic anthropology. She'd like to thank Professor Isaac Shern and Professor Nina Brown.
Simreen Shaw is a health informatics and information technology major, After graduating from CCBC, she wants to start working as a medical coder and transfer to a four-year school to get her HIM degree. She wants to thank her family who has provided great support and guidance, and because of them, she's able to achieve this recognition.
Panya Sims. Panya is an early childhood development major that sees herself as a lead preschool teacher. She wants to thank the two most important people in her life, her daughters and her granddaughter.
Brittany Slavin is a paralegal studies certificate student, and in 5 years, she wants to have her law degree and working for the government. Congratulations, Brittany.
Jeremy Tyler Smith is a motion graphics and animation major who wants to be an animator or a graphic artist. He would like to thank his parents and professors. Congratulations, Jeremy.
Kenneth Smith is a cybersecurity and digital forensics major, and in 5 years, he hopes to be doing cybersecurity for CCBC.
Shalia Solers. Shalia is a human services counseling major, and she plans on becoming a rehabilitation counselor. She would like to thank her family and friends for the support and motivation.
Ashley Stallings is a human services counseling major, and in 5 years, she hopes to be working on her master's degree for social work. Her career aspirations are to become a case manager with family and children's services. She wants to thank her husband and children today for supporting her and pushing her to follow her dreams.
Alpha Rho Psi's very own Imani Stewart. She will be a lawyer and she will learn more about entrepreneurship. She would like to thank her Alpha Rho Psi fellow chapter members and staff.
Ruth Ann Sutherland is an air traffic control major. In the next 5 years, she sees herself multitasking with working, training, furthering her studies in air traffic control. She wants to be working as a ticket agent and an operations agent. And today she would like to extend her utmost gratitude to CCBC for allowing immigrants like herself to continue the education and never giving up on their dreams. Having been blessed with Pell Grants and Phi Theta Kappa membership, she's been able to do this. Congratulations, Ruth Ann.
Sharice Thompson. Sharice is an accounting major who will ultimately get a CPA. She wants to thank her parents and her grandparents for and her guidance counselors for giving her the motivation to continue here at CCBC.
Courtney Toogood is a psychology major. She's decided to pursue a degree in forensic psychology. She would like to go on to getting her bachelor's and then her master's in an HBCU, and then eventually getting her PhD. She wants to thank her family, her friends, and God today.
Sharice Turner. Sharice is sure that after getting an amazing comprehensive education here at CCBC, that she will excel in whatever career path she chooses. She would like to thank God for making anything possible. She would like to thank her parents, her grandparents, and her sisters.
Romulo is a ATB, which is a nursing major, and in 5 years, after earning his bachelor's of nursing degree, wants to work in a healthcare facility to enhance his clinical skills and eventually enroll in a master's program to be a nursing educator. He wants to thank his husband for his unconditional love and support at CCBC.
Deanne Weaver. Deanne is a criminal justice major and she sees herself working on a bachelor's degree. She wanted to thank her wife, Laura, because Laura always has her back.
Nathaniel Welbeck is an engineering major. Within the next 5 years, he plans on attaining his bachelor's and master's degree in physics and mechanical engineering. He would like to thank God today and also profound gratitude to his family for their continuous love and support. He is extremely grateful for everyone in his life.
Amber Wheely. Amber is an English major who aspires to become the executive producer of a television series and a New York Times best-selling author. She would like to thank her family and friends.
Lisa Wilder is an accounting major, and she sees herself in 5 years still employed with her current employer. And she wants to thank her family and all the CCBC professors and staff for all they have done to adjust to these difficult times that we are in.
Fallon Diane Williams. Fallon is a business administration major who aspires to become a marketing and branding expert, a motivational mentor, and not to mention a business mogul. She would like to thank God and her husband, Danny, her Aunt Tasha, and her mom.
Marian Rochelle Williams is a human services counseling major, and in 5 years hopes to complete her master's degree in psychology. She wants to be a cognitive psychologist, excuse me. She would like to express her gratitude to her husband, David, for his ongoing support, as well as her sister, Laurel, who's always been there for her.
Danielle Womack. No, Danielle is a nursing major who wants to work in travel nursing. She would like to thank her mother, her brother, her grandmothers, but most of all, her children.
Annetta Woodrow is a psychology major. In 5 years, she sees herself working in the field with her master's degree and continuing on to her doctorate. She wants to acknowledge her family, professors, and close friends for always supporting her.
Deborah Wolford, a human services major who in 5 years will have a doctorate of social work, working on Hip Hop to the Ballot Box, which is a political advocacy organization for 18 to 24-year-olds. She would like to acknowledge God, family, friends, fellow classmates, and professors.
Stephen is a nursing major. And in 5 years, he sees himself being a CNRA nurse and anesthetist. I might not be saying that right. But he wants to thank the CCBC Catonsville advisor, Gwen, who always provides encouragement and support.
Yosef Zvim. Yosef is aspiring to become a doctor by going to medical school. He would like to acknowledge himself for believing in his own abilities and his own determination to succeed.
Christina Zhang is a business administration major, and after she graduates from CCBC, she plans to continue her business studies at a 4-year institution specializing in finance. And then she really is thinking about pursuing international business. But right now, she's just going with the flow. She wants to thank her friends and family.
Nimra Zia. Nimra is a business administration major who sees herself with a master's of business administration, working for a firm in the marketing department in order to give herself a better future. She would like to acknowledge and thank her mom today. Congratulations, Nimra.
Let's hear it for all of our inductees.
It is my pleasure to welcome you into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars it affords. I salute you for your accomplishments. I charge you to always explore for the truth and to dedicate yourselves to the cultivation of the well-reasoned life, a prelude to service and honor. Congratulations to all. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you one of Chi Theta's vice presidents. Abby Davis is our vice president of scholarship. If you want to talk about getting involved, the person to talk to is Abby, because Abby is involved in everything. And so I'm going to turn it over to Abby. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abby, and I am the current co-vice president of scholarships for Essex PTK branch, Chi Theta. First of all, I would like to congratulate our new inductees on behalf of all the officers of all 3 chapters. And as the current officers will be handing the torch to our new members, I would like to take this chance to recommend a few opportunities to get involved with as an officer for the fall 2021 semester. The first one is taking advantage of the Middle States meetings and events. We have meetings, events, and opportunities nearly every week. In this past year alone, I have met with dozens of colleges during the Middle States region's events, and I've gotten a lot of fee waivers because of it. I've got to talk with representatives. My second word of advice is work on creating a bond with your team and fellow officers. You should be seeing these people as your ally. Later on in life, these people are going to be able to support you. You are a team together. Oftentimes, I don't see members enough involved with their team, communicating. How are you doing? You want these people to be your friends and your allies so that you can succeed together. Next is diversify your leadership skills and knowledge through PTK's edges. These are something that you have to do to become a Phi star branch, but this shouldn't be just something that you feel like you have to do. There's good advice in there on how to further your career and your future, and you should take it seriously. And finally, I have some advice on how to succeed in the upcoming year. And it's kind of cliche, but it's to put yourself out there. The reason why I'm involved in so many things, as anyone could tell you, is because I apply to everything. In every class, I'm the first person to talk. I always raise my hand. I always ask others if they need help. And that's what you should be doing in order to succeed. I see many people who have way more talent than I have, but they never talk. They never put themselves out there. They don't apply to anything. And this is how you're going to succeed later in life when you transfer and hopefully further your education. So that's all I wanted to impart with you. And I'm really proud of all of you. And I hope that you do well in the upcoming year.
Thank you, Abby. So I would like to write, not only have you been sworn into a prestigious society known for scholarship and leadership, but you have an opportunity to meet like-minded scholars, to gain a tremendous support system, have endless leadership opportunities, and take the next step into your fruitful future. I hope you all not only adhere to some of Abby's advice in terms of getting involved and what PTK can do for you, but also take the time to celebrate tonight's accomplishments as one of many to come for you all. So thank you all for being here. I love seeing all of the comments in the chat. It's kind of like being at the actual ceremony or a commencement, kind of where everyone's cheering everybody on. It's great to see. Again, congratulations and a round of applause for all of your hard work. Thank you all. I guess